Hi fairies, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Fifi. It's so nice to have you here. I hope you stay well. Today we are going to be doing our media book tag. This is basically me just answering so many questions that will give you a look into my reading years so far. These videos have been popular for a very long time now, like so many years, but I've obviously been seeing people put out their own media book tags because we are in fact now in the middle of the year, July, which is absolutely crazy to think of because like how did we get here? But yeah, I'm just going to talk about books as I do. Let's get right into it. The first one, best book you've read in 2025 so far. And this is actually the most recent book I've read. I finished this literally on the 30th of June. So it's very fresh in my mind. Okay. Threats of the MRT by Brandon Sanderson. I don't even know what to say about this book right now. I obviously am filming a reading vlog, so stay tuned for that one. It's so good, like literally one of the best written books I have ever read. The writing was impeccable because the way it infused humor and just so many other different elements, and it was just all so seamless. It literally has my heart. I loved every single character, both the like villains and the good guys. Like I loved everybody, and I honestly I cannot wait to dive into Brandon Sanderson's discography. This was a very good place to start, I think, and I'm very, very intrigued and interested in seeing what more he has in store. Worst book you've read so far in 2025? Haunting Adeline. Yeah, I have a reading vlog up for this video, reading Dark Romance for the first time, and so I'm not going to get into it. Just know that I gave it 1 star, and the 1 star was because it was a book that was written by a person, and I also cannot give 0 stars on Goodreads. So yeah, it was really bad. It was. I'm sorry to the people that love this book. It was horrible. No tea. Actually, all tea. All shade. The best sequel you've read so far this year, The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. It's the second book in the Robert Landon series, and I love the series so much. I'm now going into the fourth book, I think, and I'm just loving it. I've given every book so far 5 stars. They're all so good. They're all so intentional, so intuitive, so very research based with like very good hooking plots, and I just really love it. Also, 10,000 Stitches by Olivia Atwater. I read the first book this year and I gave it 5 stars, and then I read the second book, which is this one, I think a month ago or so, and I gave it 5 stars. It's just so good. The writing, it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's so freaking good. You need to read it if you like fairies, like magical mythical worlds that are just inexplicable. You really need to read it. Also, if you like cozy fantasies, that's your girl. Best series you've read so far? I have to say, I haven't really read too many series. Like, I haven't, actively tried to continue or complete series this year. I've read just a few, but I will say the best one is definitely The Hunger Games. That was one that I read like completely. I read the entire series. I absolutely loved it. I also filmed a reading vlog for this, so you can go and check it out if you'd like. It was just so freaking good. Every part of it, all the books were so good in their own right, and I really loved the last 2 books because they give so much more insight for the initial trilogy. It was just amazing. Check out my video and definitely read that book if you haven't, because that's kind of crazy. But also Mallory Towers, the series by Enid Blyton. Enid Blyton is a children's author, and I read some of these books or some of her books when I was much younger, and for some reason I just saw the audiobooks of this series and I was like, oh, like this is a flashback. It was very interesting, and I wanted to see how I felt about it in this day and age. And so I literally read the first 6 books like back to back in one week. I actually listened to all of them on audiobook. They were so good. The nostalgia, it's just so freaking good. But aside from that, the writing is actually so good as well. I think if you're interested in just seeing young girls basically grow in a boarding house, there's a lot of found family, friendship, betrayals, like so many things. It was just so good in my opinion, and I loved going back to this series and going back to Annie Blyton's writing. It was so honestly healing for my inner child, and I love that. Best new release, I have literally only read one new release this year, okay, and that's Sunrise on the Reaping. Again, you can go and check out my Hunger Games reading vlog. But yeah, I loved it. I gave it, I think, 4.25 or 4.5 stars. It was obviously so freaking good. It was very nice to see Hamich's story, and obviously we knew that something bad had happened, and I didn't necessarily cry like some people did, because I was expecting the horrible thing to happen. But it was very, very good. I loved, the conversation that it brought up concerning propaganda and how it's just a major plot when people are trying to do evil, essentially. New release you haven't read yet but want to. I actually have so many new releases that I really, really want to read, but I haven't been able to get to just yet. I'm going to put all of them on the screen, but like all of them are very highly anticipated reads, and I cannot wait to actually have the time to read them. But I know almost every single one of these would be like highly rated, and I'm excited thinking of the me that I am after I read all of these books. You know what I mean? Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. There are not many books coming out in the second half of this year that I am personally interested in. I just have a few that I am intrigued by and interested in reading, and they are Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. This is a thriller about a woman who tries to solve her own murder. Then we have Thief of Night by Holly Black. I'm so sad. I love Holly Black's writing. I love the Cruel Prince trilogy. It was so freaking good in my opinion. A 4.5-star series. For me personally, I just loved every single book, and I cannot wait to see what she has in store. This one is completely different from that one from what I've heard, but I didn't really read the premise too much because I want to go in kind of blind. I want her writing to just take me. So I'm very excited for that. I'm also excited for The Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. I have read the first two books in her Caraval trilogy, and I love both of them. I think I gave the first one 3.5 stars, but I gave the second one Legendary 4.25 or 4.5. It was so good, a very good upgrade, and I cannot wait to read more of her books. But I'm also really excited for this new one. It's giving very like intriguing gothic vibes, and I'm honestly really sad. Favorite author this year, debut or new to you? Obviously, Brandon Sanderson. Reading Chest of the Emerald Sea was literally life changing, and it just opened me up to a whole new world that I didn't even realize could possibly exist. And I just love his writing. I've literally only read one book, but I know that he's going to be probably one of my favorite authors, if not my favorite author ever, when I read even more books by him. So I'm very excited. Also, Olivia Atota, the author of the Regency Fairy Tales series. Like I said, I gave the first two books 5 stars. I am very much intrigued and interested in reading the third one because I've heard it's like sapphic. Like, I'm gagged. I'm scared because I don't know how it will match up to the first two books. But I also felt that way when I was reading the second book. Like I thought it wouldn't match up to the first one, and it did. So I'm very, very excited. And I just love her writing. I think it's so freaking beautiful. It's amazing. It's intriguing. It's evocating. It's like just so mystical, and it just takes you in and brings you along with characters in this magical world, and I'm just so excited to read even more books by her. Biggest surprise of the year, the biggest surprise in a good way, was Legendary by Stephanie Garber. Like I said, I gave the first book, Caraval, 3.5 stars. I thought it was okay, nothing really too amazing in my opinion. But the second one, for some reason, I just loved so much. I think it has a lot to do with the characters. They felt more real and more like flawed, and just they had more quality to their characteristics, and I just resonated with it so freaking much, and I loved it way more than I expected. So that was a very good surprise. On the other hand, The Tattooist of Auschwitz was a very big surprise, and not in a good way. Okay, it was a huge letdown. It wasn't a bad book by any means. I just thought it would be a 5 star. Like I expected 5 star from the get-go, and it was literally a 3.5. I did not like the writing. I thought it was very juvenile in a way that I cannot even explain right now. It was just not very good. It was just too simplistic. And I like simplistic writing. I also like flowery writing. But when you're being simplistic, it has to have a little bit more depth and grit to it. But this one just didn't have that. So it was a letdown, unfortunately. Newest fictional crush. I don't really crush on fictional characters that much. I don't think I care enough to do that. But Roman Keats from the Divine Rivals duology, yeah, yeah, a man that can write, a man that is so intellectual but also so emotionally intelligent, and writes letters, writes, you know, things essentially. I loved him so much, especially in the first book. I wish we got more of him in the second book and more of him showing himself in the second one. But also Dante from Legendary by Stephanie Garber, that is a fine man. That is a fine man. He wasn't even anything too special, and he didn't even appear too much in the books. It was just there was something about him. That's all I'll say. Book that made you cry. Chest of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I've already spoken of that at length, so I'm going to not do that. Animal Farm by George Orwell. Like if I think about it, I will actually cry because Justice for Boxer. Yeah, yeah. Then Ruthless Vows. I didn't expect to cry at this one, especially because I rated it lower than the first one, but there was something at the end there that just really hit me. Like it was just really sad, and the way that it was incorporated in with the writing, it was so good. And I just teared up. Like I didn't sob necessarily for all these books. Like I wasn't, hyperventilating, but yeah, I choked up, maybe a tear or two were shed. And yeah. Book that made you happy. I would have to say the Mallory Tower series. I just loved those books so freaking much. Every single one of them was so good. They're like 4.5. I think I only gave one 5 stars, and they just made me feel so happy and nostalgic, and you know, it was very healing for my inner child, as I've said, and I just loved it so much. Most beautiful book cover, Chest of the Emerald Sea. I'm sorry if I'm being redundant. There's just so much about that book that is absolutely incredible. And also the illustrations within the book, impeccable. Literally impeccable. How many 5-star reads have you had so far? I have had 11 5 stars out of the 53 books that I have read so far. And honestly, it's quite a lot. I do know that. But honestly, I love having 5-star reads because it tells me that I know a lot more about my reading self and myself as a reader, because I'm choosing books that I know or feel like will be a 5 star. Like people like dogging on books, and I don't know, people like to flex the fact that they've only had one 5 star or like two 5 stars, or they've not had any 5 stars all this, and I'm like, okay, so that means you're just reading anything, you're not reading according to your own tastes. That's just how it is for me. I feel like I want to end this year with even maybe 55 stars, because that would mean that I know what I am getting into, and I know the type of books I'm reading, and I understand myself even more. I don't know if I explained that well enough, but yeah. I'm not going to talk about all my 5-star reads so far this year because I want to film a separate video talking about all my 5-star reads. Okay, so stay tuned for that. What books do you want to reread this year? Okay, I actually am about to start filming a reading vlog of me rereading some of my favorite books, some of my 5-star reads, because I am in a little bit of a book slump. Okay, I feel like I'm just reading for the sake of reading, and I'm not reading because I love to read, if you understand what I mean. And nothing just feels good enough right now, especially after finishing Chest of the Emerald Sea. I'm just not interested in starting something new necessarily. So I want to see how I feel after rereading some of my favorite books. Okay, and I'm scared. I really am, because these books are so good to me, and I feel like with how my reading taste has changed, I might not like them as much as I did before. But yeah, definitely Frost Blood, probably The Familiars, maybe The Falcons of Fire and Ice. Yeah, honestly, I'm very excited now that I'm thinking about it. I'm excited to film that video. So stay tuned. Once again, there's so many videos coming out. I'm really excited. A book you enjoyed with mixed reviews. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This is the fourth book in the Hunger Games series. It is a sequel that talks about Snow and basically gives his villain origin story. That's literally just what it is. And a lot of people did not like this book because apparently to them, they felt like it was trying to humanize Snow, and honestly, that was not the case. I personally felt like, if anything, it made you even hate Snow even more, because it showed that he had so many opportunities to choose the right path, and he decided to not do that. Like he actually made the conscious decision to betray everything good, and betrayed the good people that loved him, and he decided to be the person that he eventually became in the original trilogy. So I don't know why people hated it. I personally loved it a lot. I gave it 4.25 stars. I loved how it talked about propaganda once again, but I also loved how it basically opened the floor for conversation surrounding good and evil, and what that actually means, and how, some people are either born evil or become evil, and if that even is a thing. It just opened the floor for so many debates and discussions, and I think that really flew over a lot of people's heads. So yeah, finally, 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. I actually have a lot of 5-star predictions, but I'll give you just five. First of all, Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is apparently a women's fiction, literary fiction, but also a sapphic romance. Like, hello, sounds like heaven. I'm so excited. I honestly have only ever read one other book by TJR. That was Daisy Jones and the Six. I gave that 5 stars. I cried. I literally sobbed. Okay, justice for Camilla. Oh my god. I don't want to think about it. But I'm very excited for this book because I've heard great things already. And I just know it's going to change my life. That's how I feel. Then we have Anxious People by Frederick Backman. I don't know too much about this book. All I know is that apparently there's a robbery, but also something about an open house and people basically being held captive. But apparently, it talks about humanity and how wholesome people can be, and also talks about, how people are privileged and how people tend to do bad things because they have to, not because they actually want to. Yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I haven't read any Frederick Backman books, but I can feel it in my soul that this is going to be a 5 star. I can feel it in my soul actually that every single book by him is going to be a 5 star. So I guess we'll find out. And then, of course, we have Thief of Night by Holly Black. I love Holly Black's writing. I've already said it. I'm just excited for this book. I don't know anything about the premise, to be honest. I can't really remember anything right now. I just know it's kind of gothic and it's fantasy ish, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I really don't know, but I'm so excited. Then Bury Your Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. I haven't read any V.E. Schwab books and I really want to. I'm just kind of scared. She's one of those authors that I'm scared to get into because she has so many books and I don't even know where to start. But this is her newest release and I've heard amazing things. It's also a sapphic book about vampires. And I think which is to like, hello, that's going to be so good. I can feel it. I can't feel it. But I'm also still scared. Finally, we have Long Shadow by Olivia Atwater, the third book in the Regency Fairy Tales series. I gave the first two books 5 stars, as I've said, and I just know this one is going to be so good because guess what? It's Sapphic. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think you can probably tell a little bit more about me right now, but I just know it's going to be so good because obviously the first two books were so good. I even read the novella that comes between those. I give it 4 stars, which is like very high for a novella. So I'm very much excited. I can't wait to get into it. But I'm also like scared, not scared in a bad way. I'm scared because I feel like if I finish this book, then I'm going to be done with this series. And I love this series so much. And I'm just like holding off for the perfect moment for me to read this final book. But also, I still want to read a lot of her other books. She even has a new series with her husband, and I just know it's going to be so good. I can't wait to dive into her discography a lot more. It's just there's so many books and such little time. Oh, it's so annoying. I wish I could just ingest books. I wish I can just take these books and just eat it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. Let me know what you thought about some of the things I've said. If I said anything divisive, something you don't really agree on, just talk to me in the comments. I love reading and replying comments. It's one of my favorite pastimes. I will also leave all the questions and tags prompts in the description box if you want to answer any. I would love to see that, hear your thoughts. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram if you want to be book besties or just besties in general. I will really appreciate and love that. But for now, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.